What's going on, everybody? All right, the video you're about to watch was actually shot over a year ago, and I just got lost somewhere in transition. So it was actually shot, I think, July of 2019. So when you hear me talk about, I don't know if I'm putting my fender flares back on, that's why. We all know I did put my fender flares back on because I found the tape and stuff, but I wanted to put this video up because I've had people ask me about how I clean my truck and wax it and stuff like that. But I did want to let you know that this was shot a year ago and I forgot I shot it and I found the footage. So when you hear me talk about, I don't know if I'm putting my fender flares back on, it's not a recent video. So let's get on with the video. What's up, everybody? Today is the day that the Tundra gets its first full detail job. Wax and everything. And as you can tell, I'm about as excited about that as going in for a colonoscopy. I hate detailing vehicles. You think I had some me, I'd like it. I really hate this part. But one of the chemicals, or one of the, not chemicals, but one of the things I'm gonna be using today is Chemical Guys Extreme Body Wash and Wax. I'm gonna be using quite a bit of this to make sure I get this truck good and clean. My stepdaughter bought me this for Christmas. I may have mentioned that in other videos and stuff, but I am gonna be using this, and then we're gonna be waxing it. Now, one thing I am gonna do is I am gonna take off my fender flares. I'll probably do some paint correction underneath there where they're scratching. I don't want that to get too bad, so I'll probably go ahead and take that off. I will wax that without those on to help give that some extra protection from this rubber right here that will move back and forth and actually scratch your fenders. Now, I want to show y'all something. Now, this truck isn't crazy dirty, but isn't crazy clean, and that didn't slide anywhere. I'll try to remember to do that again after I get it washed, but it's not going to go much further than that. This paint's pretty dry. So I'm not going to film actually washing this vehicle. There's no need to actually film what I'm doing to it. Everybody knows how to wash a vehicle. But after we get done, I'll show you the wax and stuff I'm going to use. And then after that's all done, I'll actually show you how I apply that wax and what I do and how good the wax is that I use. And I am doing this early in the morning so it isn't blistering hot, so I can get this thing dried off and make sure all the water and everything's off of it. That's another thing, you want to make sure you get all the hard water spots and stuff like that off of it, because if you wax that, it's going to be underneath that wax and you're going to be able to see it. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and take the fender flares off now, get to washing this thing. I will wash the fender flares separately and actually wax them separately and then put them back on. There's one thing I do want to show you. Hang on just a second. I want to show you something on this fender flare right here. Okay, so I don't know how good this is showing up, but there are some streaks right here, and I don't know what caused those streaks. They do kind of look like they don't come out. I can tell you that. It looks like that one's a little bit better. You can actually see it better since I swiped it, but they do not come out. I may try to take some Scratch X or something to that and see if I can get that to come out. I'll let you know if that works whenever I try it. So what we're gonna do now, like I said, is take these off, get this thing washed good, get it dried good, and then do the wax. See y'all back here in a few minutes. Okay, I kind of wanted to give a report of the Chemical Guys soap. This stuff suds up pretty good. Now, I didn't use a lot of it, but I kind of want to show you guys how it suds up. Now, I don't use a foam cannon, mainly because it's usually so hot here and I don't have a good place to actually get in the shade to wash my vehicles. So I'm afraid the foam would actually start to dry before I can get it off. So I don't use a foam cannon. But you can see just the regular soap like I was talking about earlier in the video does pretty good. I mean, it foams up nice and does a good job. I've already did part of the truck. This is just some section I just thought I would stop and do a video on, but you can clearly see that there is a lot of soap that comes out of this. It lathers well, and that's actually what I'm looking for in a good soap. So there's just a short review of the Chemical Guys soap and wax. Okay, so I know some of you are gonna ask me what nozzle I'm using. It's just one from Lowe's. You just turn this up and you don't have to hold it. I don't like the ones you have to squeeze. It makes your hands get tired after a little while. You can adjust the pressure within here, but you just push this lever up and it stays on continuously. And it really helps your hand from getting tired. One other thing I want to show you guys. This truck is tall. I'm 6'3", but I still can't reach everything. So I just use one of these little step ladders that a lot of people have inside. My wife uses it a lot inside, but I have to use it on the truck because I can't reach the top. I can't reach all the way across the hood. Can't reach all the way across the bed cover. Now I didn't wash the bed cover and the wheels and stuff like that right now because the sun just reared its ugly head and it don't look like it's going away anytime soon. So I can go back and do that later. I don't want water spots on this since I'm fixing to wax it. So I'm gonna give it one more good spray off. I'm gonna back it underneath the carport where it's in the shade and then we'll dry it off. Okay, a lot of you gonna wanna know what kind of chamois I use. I'm really not sure what it's called. It comes in this plastic container. The Absorber. Now I've been using these forever. They absorb a lot of water. Some people say you probably shouldn't use these. I've been using them for years and have never had any issue with it scratching my vehicle or anything like that. And they're really convenient just to keep in that little pack. Now the one thing I want to say is make sure you put it back in that pack wet because these will get super hard if you don't. But as long as I've stored them correctly, I've never had an issue with these absorbers, and they make them different sizes. I've got the large one for my truck, and I just use the same one for every vehicle really. But I did buy the larger one for my truck, and you can see where I put through. I don't know if you can actually see it or not. I don't know if you can see it even underneath here. But if I turn this down, you can see it's completely dry. Looks like I might have missed a spot right there for some bugs. I tried to get all these bugs off, but sometimes you can't really see them until you actually go back and dry them. So I have to get that off before I wax it. But this is actually what I use. Okay, so I'm going to do the truck just like I did the Mustang. There's still some hidden water, as we all know. You wash a vehicle and water seems to seep out of the weirdest spots. So we're going to take the electric leaf blower. I don't use a gas powered one. I have one. But I don't know if that thing spits out any gas or anything like that or oil as it's blowing. So I bought an electric one. It's just a Cobalt 24 volt from Lowe's. They actually had these and a weed eater on sale the other day for cheaper than you could just buy this. So I actually have two of these. I was going to give it away on the channel, but my dad didn't have one, so I'm going to give it to my dad. Sorry about that. But so we're just going to blow off all the water. And of course, as you would guess, there is tons of water hidden that I still need to get off. Now, I'm not extremely worried about the water on this part of the grill because, of course, I'm not going to be waxing that part of the grill. But if you don't get that water off as well, it will just eventually run down, and you don't want water on your vehicle when you're trying to wax it. So that's why I'm doing this mainly, is to actually make sure that I don't have any water running out while I'm trying to wax the vehicle. I just want it to be really dry, and this has been the best way I've found to make sure I get all those little hidden water spots out before I do any detail work. Just a little tip. I'll do the whole truck that way. I'm using this Meguiar's Carnauba Plus Gold Class. I really like this wax. I've been using it for years. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. This is just what I like because it's easy to go on. It's very easy to get off the vehicle, and that's what I look for in a wax. I don't like something that I have to work extremely hard to get off the vehicle. Some of like the paste wax and stuff like that, I'm not sure if they're any better than this. They may be, but this is just easier to use. And when I'm going to spend, 10 to 14 hours waxing a vehicle and doing stuff to a vehicle, I want to make it as easy as possible. My arm has already fallen off just from doing one side, but that's mainly, like I said, from getting the scratches out where the flares are on them. So when we get this thing done, actually I want to do one more thing. I told you all that I was going to do this, and I'm going to. This has not been waxed, it's just been washed. It stopped right there. Now that's not terrible. It did slide a little bit. I'm actually amazed at how far that does slide, but it's not sliding much. So after we get this thing waxed, we'll see how slick it is and see how far this thing slides in. Okay, I've already got the wax applied to the side. Now all I got to do is the front end and this side. I need to take the scratches out of that side for the fender flares. And I'm going to show you how I apply the wax. I put a small dab on like that. Everybody probably applies wax differently, but
I just put it on like so, small little swirls. And I actually do one big spot at a time. This stuff, like I said, is easy to get off, which is why I like it. So I can do a larger amount without having to worry about it getting on there and sticking. Just make sure you keep it shook up. It goes on just like that. It is just that easy. And I'm sure y'all don't want to watch me put this on this whole hood, but I just make sure I overlap to make sure I don't miss any spots. We'll be back when we start to take it off. Okay, the hood needed a little extra love. I gave it 2 coats. It sits out in the sun all the time and just bakes. I put a couple coats on it. So let's try this again. It slid a little bit the other time, but let's see what we got this time. Right off the other side. Let's do that again. I like it when the trucks are slick. Right off the other side. So you can see putting a good coat of wax on something really helps. I can tell you, this thing is crazy smooth. Now I'm not going to use this rag. I'm going to use one in my pocket to wipe the place where I just rubbed it with my fingers. But there it is. Slick as a ribbon. Okay, over 9 hours later, and we are done. I didn't even wash the wheels and tires. I didn't do the interior. I didn't do the run boards. I didn't wash any of that. All I did was wash the truck real thoroughly, do some paint correction, and wax the entire truck. If you don't love your truck, you won't spend over 9 hours on it. So I did this once. I'm paying for it the next time. I ain't doing this again. Worst truck I've ever tried to wax because it's so big. But I do want to show you the scratches are pretty much gone. You can still see them a little bit right here if it's showing up. That's in that tape, so I couldn't get that out of the tape. But most of them on the paint came out. You might be able to see it just a little bit right there. It's coming up on camera actually worse than you can see it. But this thing came out extremely slick, extremely slick. I was going to go ahead and put on my Tundra decals, but I am too tired. But it came out very, very good, and pretty happy with it. But if you spend some time with your vehicle, show it a little love, you can have a pretty nice ride. Appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna go get something to eat. See you guys next time.